Taiwanese people don't really wear sunglasses. How's it going, everybody? Wes Davies here. I've got a very special video for you today. So I've been living in Taiwan for a long time, over 6 years now, and I've had my YouTube channel the entire time. And today I want to talk about something that I've been thinking about recently, and that is Taiwan is a very strange country. Taiwan is a very weird place to live. There are a lot of unusual things about Taiwan. So today I'm going to talk about some of those unusual, weird and strange things that I've noticed over my time here. And when I say strange, weird and unusual, by no means am I criticizing Taiwan. This is not a negative video. I happen to love the fact that I can live here in Taiwan, learn new things every day, see things that I've never seen before, and contemplate why living in Taiwan is such a unique experience. Especially compared to Canada, where I grew up, and maybe it's because I grew up there and I'm used to Canada, but coming to Taiwan, I definitely have seen things and noticed things that I never would have seen or noticed in Canada. So number one, and to honor the fact that I'm here filming this video right beside the water at Love River here in Kaohsiung, I'm gonna talk about the swimming paradox in Taiwan. If you look at a map of Taiwan, you will see that it's a relatively small island completely surrounded by water. That's what islands are. And yet, I always ask this of my students, who here can swim? And in a class of 15, maybe 3 or 4 students will raise their hand. So why is it that in Taiwan, an island surrounded by the ocean, nobody seems to know how to swim? In Canada, where I'm from, learning how to swim is a rite of passage. And this is because we're surrounded by rivers, lakes, oceans on 2 sides of the country, and of course, millions of swimming pools all across Canada. So why in Taiwan is knowing how to swim such a rarity? So for this one, I have to think about what Taiwan actually is. It's basically a large volcanic island that has been shoved up into the ocean by the movement of the tectonic plates in Asia. And because of that interesting geological fact, it means that there are actually very few sandy beaches in Taiwan. Most of the coastline in Taiwan is actually composed of very jagged volcanic or coral rocks. So even though Taiwan is an island surrounded by water, most of the coastlines are not actually accessible for the regular person to go and jump in and learn how to swim. So how about in the comments, you can let me know if you yourself know how to swim, what is your swimming level, and where did you learn how to swim? In Taiwan or perhaps abroad? Alright, my next point, since it's in the afternoon now, we can start to listen to the sweet sounds of Fur-Elise, Beethoven playing in all the streets. Now, why would that be? Well, that is due to the trash collection system in Taiwan. So in Canada, once a week we have a trash day, garbage day, and in the morning we will lug our trash bags out to the end of the driveway along with our recycling, and then by the end of the day when we come home from work, all of that garbage is mysteriously gone. And by mysteriously, of course, I mean the sanitation workers, the garbage men, will pick it up during the day, put it in their trucks, and take it to the landfill sites. But in Taiwan, we have no such system. In Taiwan, you need to do all of that by yourself. So at certain times of the day, say it's 5 o'clock or 6:30 at night, whatever your local neighborhood time is, that garbage truck will come up and down the roads, playing literally Beethoven. So as soon as you hear that sound, you know it's time to gather up all your trash, run outside of your building, and toss it by yourself into the back of the trash truck. And you better hurry, because once that trash truck starts moving again, you will not get another chance. So in Taiwan, it is not uncommon to see people in a huge group often just walking down the street, throwing bags of trash into the back of a trash truck. I don't know if that happens in other parts of the world, but it is something that we see in Taiwan here every day. And honestly, I think that is just so fascinating. It's such a unique system, and I guess part of the reason why that is the case is because we have pests in Taiwan. It being a tropical country, we have rodents, mice, rats, cockroaches. So in these hot environments, you wouldn't want your trash sitting on the road all day. Could you imagine what a nightmare that would be? So in a way, that makes perfect sense. when the trash truck comes along the street, the trash spends 0 time on the road. You just throw it yourself into the trash truck. Beautiful system, I suppose. And speaking of roads here in Taiwan, that's another thing I want to touch on briefly. There aren't really any sidewalks in Taiwan, or front lawns for that matter. In Canada, where I'm from, I think it's just law. You pretty much have to have a sidewalk to walk on. So as a young boy, I walked to school every day, to and from school, 40 minutes each way, and there was never a moment in the city where I wasn't walking on a, beautiful paved sidewalk. Now, I'm not knocking Taiwan here, I'm not knocking the city planning. I just think for some reason when they developed these huge cities that we all live in here in Taiwan, there wasn't a lot of thought to walkers. Pedestrians. In fact, I know a couple of years ago, CNN labeled Taiwan as pedestrian hell. Sorry to use a curse word there, but that's what the article said. In my neighborhood especially, I can walk almost 4, 5, 6 blocks all the way down the street and not see a single sidewalk. Now, I should point out that this year in particular, I have seen so much construction all around Kaohsiung, and do you know what they're building? Sidewalks. So I don't know if the city planners finally got the message that people need to be able to walk. They are really building sidewalks now. So all around my house now, there are some pristine, beautiful sidewalks, and they've even left enough room for scooters and cars to be able to park there. So things are changing, but certainly when I first came to Taiwan, there was none of that. Speaking of walking and sidewalks, maybe this is the reason for my next point, which is that according to Taiwanese, basically everywhere is too far to walk. You need to have a bicycle or a scooter or a car. When I tell people I'm gonna walk like 10, 15, 20 minutes to where I'm going, people just look at me and say, well, why don't you just drive? I think it's because in Canada we don't have scooters, and scooters are so convenient. I absolutely love driving scooters. You hop on your scooter here, you drive over there, you park easily. You can even park, right up in front of the store. In Canada we have way more parking restrictions. There aren't enough parking spaces. Nobody has a scooter. Everyone has these huge cars and trucks. So in Canada, if you want to drive somewhere, you really have to think about it and think about where you're gonna park, and you have to use a lot of gas. Whereas in Taiwan, since we do have scooters and bicycles, there's just no real consideration of walking. Whereas in Canada, we do walk as often as possible because walking is easier in Canada, whereas taking a scooter or a bicycle in Taiwan is often easier. All right, a couple more things before I start losing the light here. Did you know that the most dangerous festival in the entire world is in Taiwan? That's right. This is the Yanshui Fengpao, the Beehive Firework Festival in Yanshui in Tainan, which I have attended 5 or 6 times. I absolutely love going there, or at least I did love going there. When I first moved to Taiwan, my friends told me about this festival where everyone walks out onto the street wearing like huge helmets, protective gear, and then the people from the temples drag the statues of the gods through the streets, and then everybody gets hit with fireworks. And they said, you'll see, bring your helmet, bring some clothes, bring some jackets, you'll see what I mean. And let me tell you, oh man, is this festival dangerous. The first time I went, as I said, my friends dragged me, they kind of told me about it. They said, you won't believe this, and I didn't believe it. And I only brought like a long-sleeved collar shirt. Sure, I brought a helmet and a scarf for my neck, but I did not expect them to actually be shooting fireworks at the crowd, at us. And at one point, my friend said, okay, go up front, it's about to start. I said, okay. Young, naive kid, right? Yeah, I was about 10 feet away from what they call the beehive cannons, and I got absolutely pelted with what it turned out to be were bottle rockets. Literally, those things that kids shoot up into the air, those were aimed into the crowd of this event. I remember I called my dad the next day and I told him all about this festival, and I took off my shirt and it just looked like just a patchwork of bruises all around my body. At one point my shirt caught fire. I couldn't breathe because of all the fireworks smoke. It's really, really dangerous. It is a very culturally significant event in Taiwan. I love that they do it, and I hope to go back someday, and I encourage everybody to go check it out because as far as I can tell, it is literally the most dangerous festival in the world that they hold once a year in Tainan. So kudos to Taiwan for for having that distinction. Another thing I would probably mention is the food. You know, you've got stinky tofu, people eat chicken feet, chicken butts, intestines, tripe, beef stomach, the list goes on. I'm not gonna go into all that here. We've got plenty of food videos on this channel and other people's channels. So I will just wrap it up by saying that yes, Taiwan has a lot of weird and unusual and strange things to experience. But for me, that's what makes living in Taiwan so enjoyable and such a great experience and something that I will be able to tell my kids someday. Thankfully, I have this YouTube channel and I'll actually be able to show them videos of all of these things. So I really love the fact that all of these things really exist. This is real. Taiwan is a real place that has all of these things that I've mentioned. And I think that we can all agree that if anything else, Taiwan is such a unique place to live. So let's all give a shout out to Taiwan and the fact that as much as things change, some things will always stay the same, especially here. So thank you everybody for watching. Please like and subscribe, do all those nice things, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, everyone. So I'm just editing this video here, almost finished, about to release the video, and I had one more thought. Taiwanese people don't really wear sunglasses. I mean, you look at this, Taiwan is a sunny, tropical, hot island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and you look around day to day, even on these days, nobody is wearing sunglasses. I don't quite understand why. Now, I've heard a rumor that Taiwanese people, for some reason, think that wearing sunglasses is kind of a superstar move. So the second you put on sunglasses, everyone around you thinks, oh, he's just trying to be cool. He's just trying to be a cool superstar, pop star kind of guy. And yeah, I kind of get that, but also sun health is extremely important, okay? Our eyes are extremely important. So sunglasses, yes, maybe they make you look a little bit cool. I happen to love wearing my sunglasses, but also it is a health issue. So I don't know if this is a cultural thing that needs to change, but my piece of advice might be put on a pair of shades.